Hi everybody, Trace here. We are at Midway, Henderson Field, pop-up Mike Delta Yankee. It is dusk on November, what? The day after Thanksgiving, 23rd. And we're taking a long shot. We're going to go 4,800 miles to our FDO at St. Petersburg Clearwater. So, the airplane's gassed up, the MPAG partygoers are on board, the MPAG flight is started, so let's get on board and get with it. Let's see, I think I've got everything pretty much ready to start. Oh no, we've got to set up our destination. Go to search mode, and we're going to kpie, Kilo, Papa, India, Echo, St. Petersburg Clearwater, and it agrees. Select D2, yes, and we're ready to start engines. Okay, those are up. Initiate start sequence. Responding. Let's take a look at pressurization, which I don't normally do and I should. I believe in this airplane it's set to auto. I'm not totally convinced of where it is. Oxygen selector. Pressurization, cabin altitude. I'm going to have to get into the manual and look this stuff up because I'm not exactly sure. I thought I read somewhere that it's basically defaults to auto, which means you don't really have to do anything. That's what I'm going to do. Turn some outside lights on. Set up the HSI. Do that by putting everything on FMS. All I want there is I want line colors on all the little needles. The main one I want is the one I just set up, which you can't see because it's behind that other thing. FMS. See that there where the pointer is? That's pointing to the destination. Oh, all right. There we go. That'll just make the main HSI needle turn to the wine color, which is fine. Alright. Is this a tower airport? I don't think it is. So like runway for takeoff. Okay, the wind is 5 knots, so we're going to do 4. We're already on 2-4. Okay. Let's have a look at how that works. Oh, okay. Just zip around. Right. Okay. I guess we're ready to taxi. Why did I pick dusk? You might be wondering. Well, I'll get into that a little later. I want to concentrate on taxiing right now, but it has to do with how long a trip this is, which direction we're flying, and what time of day I'd like it to be when we get where we're going. which is very far away. Okay. Exactly sure where the insert is. There it is, I think. Yeah. Where are you? Reduce in. We're gonna go, well, I'm thinking of the altitude. You know, on a really long trip like this, you might want to, with an airplane like this, since it is capable of cruising over 50,000 feet, you might want to do that if you're going against the wind, certainly, because jet stream tends to die down at 40,000. So if you don't want to be bucking 150 knot headwind, you know, it's definitely to your advantage to go high. However, since the wind tends to more often than not blow west to east, and we are going west to east, it is to our advantage to have the wind on our butt. So I think for this trip we're going to stay down around the mid-30s where it's blowing, probably blowing the strongest, unless it turns out to be some kind of unusual case, which is not impossible, where it is not doing that. Okay. Now let's take off.
Papa, Mike Delta Yankee traffic. Foxtrot Delta Foxtrot Charlie Sierra.
Not your
taking out
flaps.
runway 24, departing straight out.
We'll go down to the end of the runway. There's one of the many little interesting aviation, general aviation slogans that you hear from pilots hanging around pilots' lounges at small airports all over the country, probably all over the world, is the two most useless things in aviation are altitude above you and runway behind you. So even if you feel pretty confident that you've got enough runway, like in this situation when you're at a taxiway that comes that intersects your desired active runway in the middle or something, even if you're pretty confident that you've got enough runway, you know, you need to ask yourself the question, how confident are you? Are you willing to risk your life over this? All you got to do is taxi down to the end, and then you're getting the advantage of all the runway available to you. It's a game of eliminating every little unknown risk, however small. You're never going to eliminate them all. Okay, so we're like at the end of the runway. We've got a notch of flaps kicked in. Here we go. I don't know how long this runway is. It doesn't matter because I don't have any other choices. It's this or nothing. The wind is favorable. It's almost directly in my face for takeoff. So here we go. Okay, let's see if we have enough airspeed. Come on, honey. Let's go. Fly. Take advantage of all the runway there. Alright, positive rate, gear up. Okay. Done with mouse yoke for now. Autopilot on. Climb mode. There are no mountains around here, so we'll go immediately to LNAV. It seems to always default 2,000 feet a minute, which is just fine. All right. And I'm going to go to thrust director as soon as I quit gaining altitude here. Finish that in a minute. Thrust director. I'm not sure why I go to thrust director. It seems to make changes of power settings a little more sensitive to what's going on. I don't know. Oh boy, it's a little hot. Okay. Now we're slowing down. Oh no, yeah, look at the percentage power. That's the one thing about thrust director. If you're not sensitive, it's too. If you're not careful, I mean, it's too sensitive. Here's about where I want to be, around 245 knots. We're climbing 74%. Let's get the flaps off. And let's shut the taxi lights off. Let's go back and we're altitude at 37.5. I am not going to make you guys endure this entire flight. I'm going to get to altitude and then shut the camera off for a while. This is a very long flight. Obviously. Okay. Back up, throttle off a tiny bit. One of those 70s, that's probably okay. Let's go to 2x. Okay. Why would a guy who doesn't like flying at night particularly pick dusk to take off? Well, as I said, it's a 4,800 mile flight. 4,900. Okay, that's 5,000 miles. Even if we're getting 500 knots of ground speed, which we very well might be, that's 10 hours. Plus, you add a good bit to the fact that you're traveling eastbound. And we'll use up about, okay, a little more power in there. We'll use up, I'm guessing, maybe 20 hours of Earth time. I'm saying that it'll be 20 hours later by the time we get to St. Petersburg. That means that it'll be tomorrow afternoon, basically. This is a Saturday dusk takeoff, so we're going to fly through the night. And on a 10-hour flight, I'm guessing we'll chew up close to 20 hours of clock going easterly. And when you're flying westbound, it's the opposite, of course. And as I've said before, I have a mental block about this. There are, I'm sure, formulas and ways that you can, the airlines know how to plot this down to the minute. I'm lucky if I can get it within an hour or two. I'm guessing right now it'll be late afternoon. It'll be mid to late afternoon, pre-sunset. So I hope so. I don't want to land in the dark, but my whole object here is to avoid that. Not so much of an issue with an airport like St. Petersburg, which has multiple ILSs, a tower, and every runway is lighted. But when you're landing in Midway, Central Asia, somewhere where there's very little civilization, very little technology, and you're lucky if you can find a paved runway. In the Middle East, in particular, I mean, there are big airports in Egypt, that are not lighted. And trying to land on one of those in the dark is rough duty. Okay, we got 78.4% power in. That seems to be holding up pretty nicely. Okay, everybody settle down for a long nighttime flight. I'll leave the lights on for you. Well, I've come a long way with this airplane. A lot of which can be seen on, if you go back to my earlier videos, my earliest video was an FSE flight in the green Falcon 7X. And if you're interested in, about the Falcon 7X, study the progression of the stuff that I've figured out. I mean, just killing the alarm bell, which was a constant pain in the ass. It's so much easier to just concentrate on what you're doing. Like, damn thing isn't going off every 5 minutes. But I've learned a lot of little points of technique. Look, I mean, this thing is just climbing out nicely, just like a regular airplane. And no, I'm not taking advantage of all the high-tech stuff. You can say, well, you're not really a real pilot. You're not being that realistic. Well, I don't know about realistic, but I'm getting there, and it's going well. So you can find realism any way you want to. How do you define a flight simulator? Are you using all the little bells and whistles and checklists, pretending to be a real pilot, or are you using what you've got in front of you the way it is, setting up challenging flights and challenging destinations? That's my object. I don't have a flight plan in here other than the fact that I've got a D2 destination. Well, actually, as far as the airplane's concerned, that is a flight plan. But here I am at the FMS computer. I hardly do anything with it. I mean, save flight plans, no. But I'm on a flight plan. Flight plan, active. Does that mean anything? I don't know. Doesn't mean a lot to me. I'm doing it the way I know how. And I would contend that it is working. Leveling off. Maybe we'll let the airspeed build a little bit. power setting around 70, 71.1, 71.0. That's fine. Let's see how that. That's a fuel burn of right now 902 per engine. It's 2,700 pounds an hour. Since we've got 33,000 pounds of gas on board, that will cover us. Now the wind is, as you can see right there, coming right over the left side at 58 knots. I got a hunch that as we start turning south, see, look at our heading is very northeasterly. But that you got a big great circle concept coming here. As we start approaching the mainland, you know, at some point we'll go to Florida for heaven's sake. At some point we're going to be going south. So that's going to change. I'm going to leave you guys here in a little bit of a few seconds. But I would predict that when we come back, which will be much later in the play, right now we're pointing northeasterly. At that point we'll be pointing southeasterly. So we got 4,736 nautical miles left to go. Okay, I'm going 16x, and then I'm going to shut the camera off for a while. Oh, it's dark. Okay. Whoa, look at that. There's Mr. Moon. That's an interesting view. Okay. 284, 70. Now see that it was, I thought it was at 70, now it's at 72. Let's get a little tick downwards. That's too much. See how that does. Okay. I'm shutting off the camera, folks. Wish me luck, and I'll see you back on the other side when we get closer. Okay, we're back. We've covered a little bit of ground. We're over the continental U.S. 1,740 some nautical miles out, as you can see right there. Still over 500 knots. We never did have the wind exactly on the butt, but whoa, there it is right now for the first time. It's died down a little bit, but we're still able to get over 500 knots. So let's see where the dawn is. I think it's starting to come around. Yeah. There it is. Whoa, that's a close one for that. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're a little hot. I wonder why, because we've been at that 69-70%. Things are changing. Alright, well, slow down a tiny bit. 67, alright, that'll work. 1,600 miles out. That's 4 hours of simulator time left. The atmosphere is getting a little less stable. Daybreak will be coming along pretty soon. The rate is coming. See, we're meeting it. You can actually watch it move. See, watch the stars moving. That's what it is. The Earth is turning. We're going against the turn of the Earth. So we're accelerating the amount that the sun's spin activates. That's why in a 10-hour flight, you're going to use up 20 hours of clock time. It's not exactly the same as time travel, but in a way it is. I mean, this is a 10-hour flight, but when we get to our destination, the clocks will be saying 20 hours later than when we left. This is interesting. Usually the altitude is what fluctuates all over the place. Right now the altitude's holding pretty steady. Okay, it's kicking a little more power. But the airspeed is changing a lot. We came across the Pacific with an airspeed around 290. Now 72% power. Oh, now we're up over 300. See that? It's fluctuating quite a bit. I was most comfortable at right about 70. 68.6. Let's kick it up just a tad. Yeah, that'll do. Now we got 45 knots coming right over the left side. And our ground speed is 481 knots. Let's see what the road looks like outside. There's a tiny glow. Don't worry, folks, this is still going to end up being an hour-plus long video. I mean, I just don't seem to be able to make them any less. But as I've said, you can always stop and come back, or just flick through it, or whatever. As long as you've decided to watch it at all. I don't want you getting totally bored to death. I can't understand why you aren't already anyway. Nice airplane. Get it? When you can make it behave, fly consistently and do what it should, it is a rocket. It flies high and it flies fast, and God knows it flies far. Look at that. Suddenly we're showing 330, 50 knots. I'm not changing. Down to 270, bam, 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 bam. Of course, at 16x, that effect is greatly accelerated. You'll notice now we're turning, not as much as I thought, but somewhat to a southeasterly course. There's about what our initial heading was, but we've turned to the right a good bit. Look at our ground speed now, 554. Oh, look at the wind, 118 on the butt. Oh, that's changed. Nautical away. I was gonna slow down when I started seeing. I'm gonna go to when I started seeing dawn breaking. I was going down. So we're gonna go to 8x. Things will feel a little more civilized now. What an amazing airplane. 5,000 miles. Yeah, you get over the continental U.S., you have this all the time. It wasn't nearly as strong out over the Pacific. Look at this now, 114 right on the butt. Yielding a ground. Look at the ground speed, 570 knots. Jeez, we are crooked. See, if I'd gone up to 51,000, I could sit there and say, well, this airplane will go to 51,000 feet, but I'd be in practically zero wind situation, and I wouldn't be doing 550 knots. So, you gotta use a little tactics here. If I was going west, on the other hand, I'd have that in my face, and I would not want that. So then I would climb to 51,000, or 52,000 if I could get up there. At least 50,000. And you get above the jet stream and the wind isn't blowing near as hard. You might have 30 knots in your face. And you wouldn't be going 582 knots. Look at this. But, it'd be civilized. Wow, I think that's the fastest I've ever gone in an airplane. That's almost 600 miles an hour. Well, it's almost if you're talking miles an hour, it's about 630 miles an hour. Now it's getting into daytime. So we can come a little closer. I had kept it on the global view because I wanted to see the gate ray coming over the horizon. Now with that deferred, zoom in a little closer. Okay, how's the gas holding on? 37.4. Oh, we'll be there in an hour and a half. Oh, the lights just went dim. Alright. I've got a cure for that. There it is. You know what I never did was get the terrain in. It doesn't want to do this sometimes. Oh, there we go. Maybe it's because I'm at 8x. Okay. No, leave it alone. It's just all over the place. That's not so bad. Now I can see the panel pretty well. I think it's just a comparative thing. What are we looking at here? Not bad. I can see. The lights dimmed. Do they come back up, or is it just my perception? I don't know. But I can work with it. Everybody happy back here? See, now our heading is almost 120. Let's turn it southeasterly. 98 knot wind on the butt. Now our ground speed is 68, 562. We are smoking. So I was originally wanting to be prepared for it being close to dusk local time when we get in. Now we'll be lucky if it's lunchtime. That'll get rid of it. I keep having to get used to it. They call it VHF1. That's, our idea of comp one. So it's 2 o'clock in London. meaning it's right around 9 o'clock on the East Coast. It's about 7 o'clock here, where we are. At 583 miles an hour, or knots rather. We're less than an hour out. But I'm not going to 2x until it's time to start descend. Because I don't want to go to 4x. Because this airplane doesn't seem to like 4x. We've talked about this. Probably if I stayed straight and level, it would be all right, but not necessarily even that. And God forbid that you should make an altitude change at 4x. It just goes all over the place. Just suddenly the nose will be pointing straight at the ground. I've had it where it's caught me by surprise, and I've wrecked before I had a chance to. Of course, the way I've got it set up, I just bounce off the ground, but that's a crash cause, so that's a complete failure. So I don't want that. So I'm only 35,000 feet up. So around what? 300 miles out, I guess I'll go. And we are currently 377 miles out. Okay. Oh, we're just clearing Texas and going out over the Gulf. Exactly. Okay. Knock on wood. Thank you, Lord. This flight has gone very smoothly. We're considering the horrible, stressful flights I used to have in this thing. And I would just give up. And it would be like, before I started, calm down, making videos, in the old days when I first got it, it was just like, ugh. When I finally learned to disable the autopilot, that was the barest beginning. Airspeed is all over the place. That was the barest beginning of being able to make it behave in a predictable, dependable way. And at least then I had something to build on. Then I learned to get the, I forget what that file name, the alarm file. I disabled that, took it out of that folder. That made things a lot calmer. Then I could start concentrating on details like what cruising power setting do I want? Since I'm not depending on the autopilot and the auto throttle, I have to do that myself. That's all right, because when I do it, it does what I tell it dependably. As long as I don't have the automation crap getting in the way. I can fly this airplane. It can't fly itself that well, frankly. And so you listen to all the conversation. I was just reading something this morning on one of the forums. Guys talking about this airplane. It's a piece of shit. Well, it isn't. It's a good airplane, but it's got a lot of crap in it, which is hard to control and hard to figure out. And until you get that out of the way, it is a piece of shit. But as I've said from the beginning, it hand flies really well. It ground handles really well. The basic underlying fundamentals were there. And it's pretty. It's a good looking airplane. I've just never been able to forget about it. I've never let go of it. I never totally gave up on it. I would drop it for months at a time but I always came back to it. And now it's my best airplane. I'm very happy with it. Boy, is it a rocket. 550 plus knots at 50,000 feet, 5,000 mile plus range. I mean, I don't have anything else that can do that. Percentage of blah, blah, blah. Oh, just shut up and make me. Where are we at here? Ooh, we gotta slow down. Oh my God, yes. Slow down, slow. This is what happens when I start waxing loquacious and talkative with all of you. I get distracted. Christ, I wonder how close in have I got. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Alright, drop like a rock. Drop like stone. Defaulting to 4,000 feet a minute. You know what? I'm going to leave it there for a little bit. Down to 24,000. I'll leave things just like they are. Than that. Good. Okay. Let's slow that down a little. Okay. You're 7,000 or 6,000 right now. Level off altitude. How close in are we? A little hard to see. 37 miles. 1X, please. And time for a terminal briefing. Wind 268 at 11. Gust 17. Whoa. 268, huh? Shit. I don't know what that'll be. Probably 3.5. Well, we'll just wait see what they say. Let's get down to altitude. Worked a little high. This is the traditional problem I've had with this airplane. You arrive in the area and you're too damn high. And right now, that's exactly what's the case. Let's see. Let's start hoping it's 2.5 because we are too close to our 1.7. Nautical flaps. Let's see, in that case, start out in heading mode, going to 350, and let us see what that will do. And we'll go that way. Yeah, it's 16 miles back. Tuck it in, tuck it in. We're going to need all that fluid. That's 14 miles away. We're pretty close. It's still at 16,000, so we need a minute or two to get down there. What are we descending at? 2,500. I wouldn't want to go more than that. Notch your flaps in. How's the gas? 25, 29, 25, 20. Okay, 212. Looking good, looking good. Alright, you're alright. Settle down on a 350 course. And then we'll bring her around. Okay, this is alright. We can live with this. Yeah, let's come right. What? 20 degrees. Something like that. plane's getting down. This is the price of this little soliloquy that I was giving you all about. I don't even remember what it was. By the time I quit talking and started paying attention again, I was less than 100 miles away. I had intended to start that descent at about 200 miles out. Miles, 10,000. $8,500, 22 miles away.
Petersburg Tower, Pacifica Niner, 443, 15 miles north, inbound ILS, runway 17
less known as 08. So we're going to turn close to Perth. We'll go to 070 for now.
Fly straight in, runway 17 left, Pacifica Niner, 443.
Okay. Alright. Decrease the descent rate. Okay. See, this is the kind of stuff I used to not do. It's looking much better. Look at that. It's looking good. Oh, now it's going to act strange. Alright. We'll just put up with it. Got 56% power. I'm going to leave that. Quit climbing you. Okay, now it's coming back down. See, sometimes you have to just let it do what it wants to do. It'll resettle itself. I'll predict it'll get down around the 3,500. See, the airspeed's okay. Now let's see. Oh, wait. It's up here, man. 17. Okay, we'll see what this ends up being like. Oh man, I'm gonna have to do a little hot and heavy maneuvering here. This is now coming way too late. Fortunately, we're 25 miles out at 5,000. Calm it down. Increasing the descent rate, attempting to. See, I gotta figure this out better. Should we do it.
Pacific Niner 443, contact ground on 121.9er. 121.9er, Pacific Niner 443.
As close as it is. Maybe I should just leave it. Let's hook one in. Hopefully that improved it. Altitude's looking better, 20 miles out. Airspeed's okay. I'm gonna make a little bit of an adjustment. I can do that. That's all right. We'll let that go. Altitude is settling down at the correct altitude. Airspeed is good. You're looking good. Okay, bring it on. Bring it on. Looking good after a 5,000-mile flight. Don't worry about it. Okay, I see. 14 miles out. Geary damage. Okay, gear down. Left one. Your left one. Stuff's so much easier when you have good visibility. See, I'm developing little points of technique with the mouse yoke. That doesn't mean I'm an expert, but I'm better than I was. And it pays off because I can land fairly well. This airplane is particularly well suited to it. It hand flies really well. Yeah, thank you. Okay, be right with you. much better with this view for me, so I can see everything. See the land around me really well. I can see my airspeed, my altitude, all that stuff. Power up a little bit. Full flaps. Straighten out, straighten out. Looking good, looking good. Airspeed coming down nicely. Running a little high, drop in there. That's it. That's it. Straightening out, straightening out. Okay. Shallow out a little bit, shallow out. Drop it too fast, your airspeed's a little low. See, you're a little slow now. Just
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Okay. Flight idle. Drop her in, drop her in. That's it. Okay, you're looking good. 120, you're on the edge of a stall.
Sink rate.
That's it, that's it, that's it.
Sink rate.
Don't worry about it.
Sink rate.
Don't go to the
Sink rate.
spoilers.
Sink rate. Sink rate.
Flare, flare.
Sink rate.
That's it.
Sink rate.
That's it, that's it. Easy, easy, easy. Easy, 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 easy. Right. Good, 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 good. Plenty of runway left. Plenty of runway left. Good ball. Drop her in. Beautiful. Verticals. Freaks. Pumping the brake. See, I would rather not use the speed brake. You bet, if I don't have to. Flaps up. Sometimes you have to. You know, if you're running out of runway, you got to do that. But boy, I'd wait at least until I am close to the runway. If you want to kick your auto brake in the air, okay, but you know there are consequences. The nose will not come up. So you better be in a flare mode, otherwise you're going to have one of those really awful nose-heavy landing things. You know, it's like you can call it a landing if you want to, but it's not very nice. Yeah, all right.
Going to 121.9er, Foxtrot, Charlie, Sierra.
Okay, MPAG building, our typical parking place. Down and see how much gas I've got left after about 5,000 mile flight. We'll get to that in a second. 7,500 pounds. Okay. So I could have, you know, I think it's a 6,000 mile range. Well, that's stretching it, but you know, that was a 4,900 mile flight. It's easily a 5,000 mile range. Of course, it helps when you get the wind on your butt at 100 miles. Sometime I'll try a 5,000 mile flight westbound and see how that goes. Come on, let's go. Oh, for heaven's sake, just get there. Full power, flight on. Crash into the building at the end of that. Okay. with a little white box, which we get by first getting rid of that, setting the parking brake. And there it is. Okay, flight line has confirmed us at St. Petersburg Clearwater. The flight has been successfully completed. So, time to shut down. Well, that was a hell of a flight. This is like, we're really moving into a, I don't know, mature stage with this airplane. It's like becoming civilized. There are very few unexpected crises. You know, that there was nothing unexpected in that entire flight. And that was a long ass flight. So, alright. Engines are off. Ground power unit is connected. Batteries off. And that's that. Okay. Well, that was a great flight. I'm very proud of it. And thank you all for coming along. I hope you were able to stand it, since you're still here, by definition, I guess. Couldn't have been that bad. So I don't know what we're going to do next, of course. I always say that. It's always the case. We'll do something fun. That'll be it for the Falcon for at least a day or two. But as I said, thanks for coming along, and we'll catch you later.